All right. Good evening, everybody. Bobby Piton here. Thank you for coming on a little earlier. As you know, I'm going to be on this Ann Vandersteel this evening, and I think that comes on. I got to be logged in by 8 o'clock, and then I think I go on between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. And Michael Flynn will be there. General Michael Flynn will be there. We're going to discuss the movie, and so that's going to be coming out on Saturday. I've posted the link on Telegram and so forth. And just so you know, aside from a few other spots, I am trying to, I've been banned from Facebook for 3 days. I've been being banned on YouTube. So I'm trying to keep some of this to a minimum on other social media. What's up?
AJ, okay.
Oh, okay. And so that's the deal, folks. I have to try to be a little cautious. Just so you know, I will also have the campaign site for my run for U.S. Senate up, hopefully within the next 1 or 2 days, maybe even sooner. I might have something preliminary up in the next 24 hours. So stay tuned on Telegram. I'm going to post it. I heard that Tammy, it's kind of funny, right? Because there's this saying that's called "What's good for the goose is good for the gander," right? And right now, DC doesn't work that way. It's what's good for the goose is only good for the goose. But I would even say that this is what the ducks are doing as well, like Duckworth. And what I would say is, they're not doing anything that's good for the gander. They're not doing anything good for us. It's only all about themselves. And so we, the people, need to take our government back and elect people into office that are going to do the right thing for the American people. And so, it's not going to be easy. In the event that I did win, right? I do think it's funny, folks. I'm not going to kid you, but in the event that I did win, I'm going to commit to only one term and done. So between campaigning and spending time at night and away from my family and visiting people around the state, plus if I win, I'm in there for 6 years. That's 8 years. Okay, that's plenty. Okay, I have plenty to talk about, plenty to get done in 8 years between what I talk about on the campaign trail while I'm working during the day, like everybody else. I'm not going to give up working. Everybody's telling me, you can't do that. You got to quit what you're doing and just do campaigning full time. I'm not interested. I don't want to be a politician. I'm going to go in there. I'm a fast reader. I understand things quickly. I will study and read the laws. I will go to D.C., vote, and get my ass back home for my family. I do not want to live in D.C. under any circumstances, and that's just the way it is. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, I'll just say some quick hellos. Hi, Chris and Mittens and Dallas, Lilo, and let me see who else is here. Ann, Henry, good to see everybody. John, thank you guys for all coming early. Gretchen. And let's see, Onward, Dan, and who else? We're missing Maria. Where's Maria? I don't know what Maria is. I'm missing Maria. Madeline, and Mason. So I hope everybody is having a wonderful evening, and Sean. So anyways, I did enjoy today's readings. I thought they were extremely fascinating. I think they tie into what we're in the middle of as a nation. Not just as a nation, but globally, our society, I guess you can say it, our humanity, because our American society is definitely living this through in real time. But then we're also seeing this play out globally. And the entire planet is watching to see how we do things in the upcoming weeks, months, probably years. Because here's the deal, folks. I talked to Edward Solomon today, and I had to revise my numbers up. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to have to do that on Rumble. So whenever I want to talk about numbers, I'm going to have to discuss it on Rumble because I don't want to get banned. But what I will tell you is my number was 488 on the high side, and now my number is as high as 830,000 differential between candidate A and candidate B. Okay, 830,000 votes. So you guys can all look for yourself as to what I'm talking about. But Edward is actually, he came in like right under the button of my high estimate at 469, which is pretty crazy because he used, yeah, I saw that about Rudy. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, folks. Like, they're going after Rudy. Like, next thing you know, they're going to try to go after Bobby. Like, what the hell? Easy. And my wife said, no, they're not going to do that. And so all I'm saying is they can kiss my, they can pound sand. That's all I could tell them. They can go pound some sand in the Middle East for all I care. Okay. Because it's a bunch of garbage. We all know, we see lies all the time. And this is such a great conversation today about Judges 19, Judges 20. And oh, by the way, one other thing I want to mention. So I was talking to Liz, okay? And, she's trying to put me in touch with someone, okay? Who, we'll see. I don't like to mention who any of these people are for their own personal reasons, as you can imagine. But what I would say is that if I can get the data set, right, they're going to see if they can get me the data set for the whole nation. Now think about that. How cool is that? Can you imagine? I may get the data set to use, right? I'm not going to do anything commercial with it. This is strictly for the Republic. But I might be able to get the data set for the entire nation. And that would just be unbelievable, right? Because then if I get the data set for the entire nation, somebody has volunteered to let me use a supercomputer. Now, what is a supercomputer, you might ask, right? We've all kind of heard about supercomputers from growing up as kids, right? We might have seen that movie War Games. There was a supercomputer called the Whopper. Remember that? The Whopper, like Burger King. There's a movie about it. I forgot. War Games was the name of the movie. So anyways, this computer is built on NVIDIA chips. And my understanding is this thing costs like $75,000. Now, keep in mind, folks, the American public funded a workstation that I'm using to do a lot of this analysis ever since they funded it back in December. That cost over $10,000. Now, I have a $10,000 workstation that I do this voter stuff on. Now, why am I telling you this? Because I had smaller workstations that were literally heating up and almost burning out my chips, like with the amount of calculations that I was running. And I'm laughing because it would run at like 99% and it would overheat because of some of the stuff that I have to run to do this stuff. And so I'm very curious to see if in fact I do get the data and I do have access to the workstation and so forth. And so if I do get access to this workstation, I will not share my algorithms on there. Just so you know, I'm going to make sure I already let them know. But what I will do is I will gladly create metadata for the entire nation. So if they give me access to this workstation and I get all the data, they get access to the voter files for the whole country, I will create metadata for the United States of America, the entire nation. And the deal is I will give it to everybody. I said, here's the deal. If I get this information and I crunch it on your workstation, I'm going to create the metadata tables and I will give it out to everybody. Here you go. You guys can do what you want with it. I know how I would use it, but the whole idea is, it would be pretty cool to explain to everybody how they can use some of this this rolled up information about everybody in the country, and then decipher abnormalities that might be resulting in our votes being diluted in the process. So that's the deal, folks. We'll see what happens. I don't know how it's going to play out. It is. I do think this whole thing is pretty funny. If you guys haven't noticed, I always get a kick out of it because I wouldn't have imagined that I would be working on this stuff. Anyways, like I said, like you don't grow up wanting to be working on voter data, at least that I'm aware of. No kids growing up to to want to work on voter data when they're growing up. So, anyways, that's the deal. So let's go to Judges 19 and then Judges 20 and so forth. Okay. The Levite and his concubine. Now, this is pretty brutal, right? If you guys read this Levite and the concubine, he's kind of going around trying to find a place to stay. Then he ends up going to a town where his concubine, which I guess is a fancy word, for prostitute, she ends up being. What's a concubine in your opinion?
Well, it's like it's not the wife, but usually it's like it's a live-in mistress.
Okay, my wife is saying, okay, that's too harsh. I shouldn't have used the language prostitute. I should have used the language the live-in mistress. Hey, Nicole, can I have a live-in mistress, please?
No.
Can I have a live-in mistress for $500, please? What do you guys think? You think I should kind of run that one past Nicole? Nicole, I think that everybody watching right now thinks I should have a concubine. They think I need to have a live-in mistress.
Shut that one down.
That's pretty funny, folks. Anyways, live-in mistress or not, okay? Live-in mistress or not. It's pretty nuts, all right? So concubine, don't worry, Celicia, I'm not going to have a live-in mistress. I'm just joking around. This is we're very politically incorrect here. If you guys haven't noticed, everybody's defending the concubine. The prostitute is too strong. That is pretty funny. We gotta defend the prostitute. The use of the word prostitute. It's too harsh for this concubine. She's an honorable woman, folks. She's an honorable woman. The concubine is.
Sometimes concubines were forced into it, sex slaves.
So my wife said they were forced into sex slaves. So you know what? This plays into the CRT theory, right? Yeah. You know what? This is the critical race theory. We'll call the critical prostitute theory. The CPT is going to top the CRT, the critical prostitute theory. We're going to basically say these women were sold into being a concubine and just being an exclusive prostitute for just one male that was married. That's the deal, folks. As long as you're a concubine for one married man or one man, it's okay. You could be a contracted life sex slave. That's the deal. Anyways, no, I know it's part of a harem. It's pretty nuts. They're still sex slaves is right, and these people are sick. So anyways, I did think it was kind of crazy listening, reading this story today, listening to it as well, because I listen and then I read it as well. Lower wife, not a prostitute, concubine. Is the deal is, they ended up, this guy ended up throwing her to, a bunch of scumbags in the town, and then they raped her repeatedly and basically left her for dead. And then she was dead. And then he ends up cutting her up into 12 pieces, sends her off to the 12 tribes of Israel. Then these tribes come and basically bring justice because this whole process of this one woman that was a concubine being killed brought upon the wrath of all of Israel. And they came in and they fought and killed, I think it was, what is the number? It was like 22,000. It was more than that. Hold on a second. What was the number of people that were killed in this whole thing? Between all of this, 25,100 of Benjamin's warriors were slaughtered. Okay? 25,000. Okay? So you sit there and you think about this all over one woman, and then how does this relate to what's going on in the world, right? How does this relate to the United States right now? So I'm sitting there thinking about this whole thing, and it's like, wow, this one woman who was, a step up from a prostitute, ended up ends up being raped in this town, and then obviously the guy that was pretty upset. He carves up her body, sends it out to Israel, and says, "Hey, we got to fix this." And then everybody from Israel comes in and fixes it, and then slaughters, not just kills all those experienced swordsmen, they slaughter everybody in the town, all of them. Okay, that's funny. Joshua married the most beautiful lady of the evening. That's funny, Elishiva. Look at that. You know what? You know what? I guess the Bible makes it okay for Kamala Harris, huh? Just saying. The Bible's basically saying, you know what, Bobby? This Kamala Harris might have been a concubine. She wasn't a prostitute. She was just a concubine. She was just, a little mistress for one of these politicians. I guess maybe that's the deal. Maybe Elishiva, maybe that's why Kamala basically justified all her actions, right? She just said, you know what? I am not a prostitute. She should have said that during the debate. I am not a prostitute. I resent that comment. I am a concubine. I'm sorry. Somebody needs to tweet that one out. Kamala Harris was never a prostitute. She was a concubine. Anyways, I do think that's pretty damn funny. So going through this whole concept of the concubine, what ends up happening, they call on Israel, they come in, they slaughter all these soldiers that are defending the abuse of this concubine, right? So think about it. It's kind of weird, right? Maybe Kamala Harris wants to be a concubine so that maybe some people will come and fight and defend and give up their life for her. Said nobody. Nobody's ever going to fight and die for that woman. Come on. Let's be realistic here, folks. But anyways, with regards to Israel back then, when this woman was killed and so forth, they came in, they slaughtered the town, they killed every living thing in the town. And it got me thinking, it's like, wow, why would Israel do that? Why would the 12 tribes of Israel do this? If not to set an example, if not to say, you know what, we will not tolerate evil. And anybody that is willing to live in a town that tolerates evil is guilty by consent. The fact that the town did not do anything, right? That they were basically okay with it. On civil unrest from one death. There we go. I'm just saying that it's pretty interesting that yes, yeah, I'm not sure if this concubine was probably more honorable than George Floyd. Whoa, I said that out loud. Let me say that again. This concubine was probably more honorable than George Floyd. Should we say it a third time? Anyways, yeah, I would not compare George Floyd to the concubine. This is a degenerate who put a gun to a pregnant woman's belly, right? So, he is beyond being a degenerate for doing such a thing. He's pure evil. Anybody that would put a gun to the belly of a pregnant woman under any circumstances for any reason ever is beyond savable. I think that God needs to figure that one out. That's above our pay grade. Someone like George Floyd is above our pay grade. Someone that big of a degenerate. And the fact that the demonic party rallied around this is an example of who they worship. They would worship and kneel before on behalf of someone this evil. Goes to show you just how corrupt and lost the demonic party is. And so anyways, that's just something to think about. Let me take a look here. So, that's the deal with regards to George Floyd. And so when we think about everything, in this story, we think about where we are as a society. It's pretty wild. Like, when are we having that moment in our society? When are we just that fed up with evil when we witness evil? We haven't gotten there yet. I'm not sure when that day's coming. but I think it's around the corner. I did see some interesting statistics that 55% of Americans now believe in this word called blank, 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 or blank fraud. 55%, folks. That's a really, really big shift. And so as this occurs and more Americans are getting involved and more Americans are seeing the data for themselves, it's going to completely transform the United States permanently, and the globe for that matter. And I do think it's going to lead to long-term ramifications where we need to show no mercy. I think the point of this story, from my perspective, okay, is show no mercy. These people had no mercy. They cheated, they lied, they did everything they could to mislead hundreds of millions of Americans, to steal. This is the biggest theft that's ever transpired on planet Earth. What they did, they tried to steal a nation. They tried to steal over $100 trillion of wealth. They tried to figure out a way to legally execute millions of people, through the system, right? They did all this systematically through our own laws. They found all the weaknesses in our existing structure and laws, and they weaponized it against us, every aspect of our society. So, from my perspective, the fact that they would even go down this path in any way, shape, or form, they went for broke, folks. They put it all on the line. And what I'm saying is, there is no deal when this is getting resolved. Zero. We need to be absolutely ruthless. You know who we need? We need Samson. we need Samson from the Bible to come out, and Samson needs to do his magic. We need a bunch of Samsons. We need multiple Samsons. We need one in each state. And then we need to take these Samsons and we need to take care of business, folks. And that's all I can say, because these folks are beyond redeemable, and I do believe that God's going to have to settle up with them on the other side, and that's all. That's how I feel about it. Get a jawbone ready. I do like that. Get the damn jawbone. We need one for all the media people. Everything. We need to bring justice to every single person in on this scam. What I could tell you is there's somebody who's helping the Voter Integrity Project, who's on the IT side. He brought up something which was super interesting. And, I never thought about this before. He brought it up today. He just brought it up today. I don't want to give credit for this. It's not my idea. I don't know where he got the idea, but this is what I do know. Is he said, look, what if they give different versions of the vaccine to people that need to be no longer with us? And so it's a perfect way to give the vaccine to someone who should no longer be here. Think about that. What if there's just too many people to put on trial and then execute for treason? What if it was faster to give them a vaccine that maybe takes them out? That's a very interesting perspective. Like that makes a hell of a movie if you think of it that way. It's like whoa, wait a second. So you're telling me any of these communist sons of bitches, you give them the special vaccine and they may not wake up. And so that's the deal. Serica, with regards to the volunteers, I need to just get caught up on what's on my plate. I do have a few people working, but I will definitely let you know if something changes, because I do think right now I'm trying to build out and work on the infrastructure to make it scalable. Like I'm going as fast as I can to make everything scalable. So once I know that things are scalable, I will definitely reach out. Because this is going to be an ongoing thing. I really don't think that it's going to be one and done. We need to be diligent about this permanently going forward. We have $10 billion of our money right now in the federal government being spent per elected official. $10 billion. Now keep in mind, if people if people elect me to the U.S. Senate, My goal will be to cut the size of the government in half. Okay, half, and it'll still be 3 times as big as it used to be 100 years ago. So keep in mind, folks, if I succeed in helping cut it in half, not me by myself, if I can convince a bunch of people in the House and the Senate to cut the size of the government in half, we would still be spending $5 billion a year per representative. And so, anyways, I have a lot of creative ways to do it. I'm not going to share them all. I got to get through the primary first. So let's see if I get through the primary. I was talking to some clients the past few days, and I said, "Look, I'm not going to kid you. I don't have any expectations. I'm going to get through the primary. I want to have fun with this, and I'm going to be probably one of the most unconventional candidates you've ever seen. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do my job, go in and talk, and then learn what I need to learn and explain what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I say I did, and I'm going to go back home." And that's it. I do not believe it needs to be a full-time job, Patrick. I think that I think that's part of the problem. It should not be a full-time job. It should be a job where you listen, you use common sense, and you turn around, get your damn vote done, and get out. The laws shouldn't be bigger than 33 pages. The U.S. Constitution with all of its amendments is like 31 pages. 32 pages, 33 pages tops. Read the damn thing, understand it, get your ass back home with your family and your community that you're supposed to represent. Don't sit there and scheme and think about ways to rip off the American people with creative lawyers and accountants. That stuff's got to stop. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on it. And you know what? If people people think I need to be in D.C. and they think I really need to be there all the time, and then I guess I'm not their candidate. Don't vote for me. Like, that's all I can say. This guy's nuts. He's telling people not to vote for him. I'm saying is, don't vote for me if you got a problem with how I'm going to do the damn job. Because I'm telling everybody how I'm going to do the job up front. I'm going to do my full-time job, and then I'm going to do this. And I still think I'll run circles around the jokers that are there, folks. I will debate any member of Congress today about any issue. And I think I'll hold my own. Okay. So that's without even putting in the time to study all the issues in as much depth as I would if I was an elected official. So I don't have any doubt that that it would be pretty funny. I did send that text out to Ted Cruz before I went on, by the way, folks. So I told Ted Cruz that I would love to debate him in a friendly manner, in Illinois, and and we can donate all the money to charity. So that's the deal, folks. So we'll see if Ted Cruz takes me up on it. Come on, people are saying he's a liar, whatever. I mean, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But Ted, you know what? Ted's one of the best ones we got out of a really shitty lot of people. So anyways, Congress is a mess. So if Ted's out there. So anyways, Ted was, if I'm not mistaken, I did read that Ted was a debate champ in Texas. And I think it would be fun to debate a debate champ, like he was a debate champ. I'm not sure exactly in what. Maybe it was law school or something else. But the idea of debating him on anything, right? Debating what policies would be best, I think it would be super cool. I think it would be a lot of fun to do it. I think it would be a great conversation. I'd like to talk to him. So anyways, we'll see. I'm not holding my breath, folks, but I figured I'd put it out there. I did tweet it at him. So we'll see what happens. Maybe there'll be a bunch of people that will tweet it at him, and maybe he'll respond if we get lucky. But like I said, it's a long shot. It's a long shot. But I think it would be pretty. I think it would be a lot of fun. I think that it would be a super fun experience for me. And anyways, all this talk on the Bible every night has not made me, it's helped ease my nerves or concern about being camera shy. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm not as concerned anymore about being in front of a camera. You like that, babe? My wife's just laughing. She's like, you never had a problem being in front of a camera. You can't shut you up once you start talking. And so, anyways, um, you know, that's the deal. Okay, so let's go to John 3. And then Jesus and his disciples left Jerusalem and went to Judea countryside. Is that right? Judea? And then Jesus spent some time there baptizing people. No one can receive anything unless God gives it from heaven. You yourselves know how plainly I told you, I am not the Messiah. I am only here to prepare a way for him. This is John the Baptist talking, and so forth. He has come from above and is greater than anyone else. We are of the earth, and we speak of earthly things, but he has come from heaven and greater than anyone else. Yeah, you think about this, folks, and you think about this, and how amazing would it be to talk to someone? If you think about it, in some respects, I know Jesus was the Son of God, right? Like, I get it, but I want you to think about, like, what if we talked to someone who was an alien, right? That was as intelligent as 100,000 of us, 1,000,000 of us, like 1,000,000 human brains were in this one person, right? Now, keep in mind, God has infinite knowledge. So Jesus theoretically had infinite knowledge about everything, right? And so forth. But just imagine if we had somebody that had 100,000 times, 1,000,000 times the intelligence of one of us, right? And they were here on earth, and they're kind of talking to us like Jesus, like Jesus was. It'd be like, it would be a hell of an experience. Be like, whoa, I don't know about anything else, but whatever this Jesus guy says, we're gonna go with whatever he's telling us to do. And then there was a bunch of jerk-offs that were stupid enough to execute him, right? And he was like, go ahead, you guys can do what you want. But you have no idea that death doesn't really matter to me, right? There is no such thing as death for me. And so I'm going to let you do this, but you're going to be damned. And so I'm going to let you hang yourself. So anyways, when I think about John the Baptist, I think about these stories about Jesus. I think about how stupid some people can be, right? How much things have changed, right? 2,000 years. We still have arrogance and hubris in our elected officials and people in positions of power who start to think, for some reason, they equate the position of power that's supposed to be temporary, or the money that they've accrued, which is also temporary, with somehow they have some kind of superior intelligence, which nothing could be further from the truth. A fool and their money are soon departed. And people that get lucky and get into some of these positions of power, they have a hard landing, is what I would say. And so I do like it when they get that hard landing. I do think we all have a sense of justice, right? As spirits, living in this physical form, I do believe that we enjoy watching justice prevail. We enjoy watching the hard landing on people that are jerks. It makes our souls sing. That's what I would say. I think we all know what I'm talking about here. When someone who is a real jerk to everybody around them, to people in their family, the community, whatever, they're just too full of themselves. I do think that we do enjoy watching those folks receive the ultimate lesson, which is, falling flat on their face, right? It's not our lesson to give, I think God gives it, but I do think God sometimes likes to entertain us. So I think that God sends a message to these douchebags, as I would call them, and then we get to watch. we get to watch it play out for how they're just asinine. So, anyways, for what it's worth, right? That's just my 2 cents. Okay, so let's go to Oh Lord. We're going to go to Psalms 104. because I got to try to wrap this up in about 15, 20 minutes. I got to get ready for this show at 8 o'clock. Okay. God bless, Celicia. Have a wonderful evening. Okay. Psalms 104. O Lord, what a variety of things you have made. In wisdom you have made them all. The earth is full of your creatures. Here is the ocean, vast and wide, teeming with life of every kind, both large and small. See the ships sailing along, and Leviathan, which you made to play in the sea. They all depend on you. You give them food as they need it. When you supply it, they gather it. You open your hand to feed them, and they are richly satisfied. But if you turn away from them, they panic. When you turn away their breath, they die and turn again to dust. When you give them your breath, life is created, and you renew the face of the earth. May the glory of the Lord continue forever. The Lord takes pleasure in all he has made. The earth trembles at his glance, the mountains smoke at his touch. I will sing to the Lord as long as I live. I will praise my God to my last breath. May all my thoughts be pleasing to him, for I rejoice in the Lord. Let all the sinners vanish from the face of the earth. Let the wicked disappear forever. Let all of them I praise the Lord. Let all that I am praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. So, folks, a couple things. Now, if you think about these evil people, they're kind of like a virus on humanity. So I'm really glad to see that they disappear forever. These people that are wicked, they do need to be gone forever. We, as a collective spirit in Christ, we need to wipe them out permanently. And so when God helps clear out the dreck among us, I'm glad that they're gone forever. They screwed up. They're like a virus, and they need to be gone. So I do think it is nice to hear that. There was a post today from Ron, Code Monkey, and I responded and I kind of shared it. And some people made some comments to me because, first of all, I think he's a wonderful person. Ron, like I said, I think he's a gentle soul. He's a kind person. And so, somebody said something to me today, and I said, let me see here. They asked me if I believed in aliens, right? So I don't know if they're watching. I told them to watch this. This Rebecca Morris, she asked if I believed in aliens because Ron is going to be working on something called Alien Leaks. Now, first of all, I'd never seen anything about this until tonight, right? So I kind of responded and shared this clip, from Ron's page, because I do follow him on Telegram. So if you guys aren't following him, I definitely would highly suggest it. He does have some good information and good drops about stuff. And so what I basically said is, he thinks there's a lot of people coming forward worldwide with regards to things that they've seen that suggest that there might be intelligent life in our universe. Now, folks, I have no idea, right? I don't have any idea if there is any sort of intelligent life on Earth, period. No, I'm just joking. I do think that there's some intelligent life in human beings. So I'm saying, is there additional intelligent life on Earth from other galaxies, universes? Is there consciousness, that can flow into a human form, right? Because if you're that smart, wouldn't you be able to just send your energy or send your knowledge into other human beings? Maybe. I have no idea, and I do think that anything is possible with God. So what I would say to that is, if God wants aliens to exist, or i.e. other intelligent species that are part of God's creation and God's plan, then they're going to exist. It's above our pay grade. We don't get to call the shots. You say, hey, God, I thought you said it would only be us. It would only be us humans here on Earth. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, that's not the way it works, folks. God's going to do what God wants to do. So if there are any other alien species and God created them, right? God created it all. We have to play nice. Yeah, we're all God's children or God's creatures, right? And I guess we're aliens to the aliens. So the aliens might be like, you guys are aliens to us, and I don't know how the hell you guys operate, but we do things a little bit differently. And so, anyways, this whole concept that people act with such surety one way or another, who knows? It may be true, but it's also a huge distraction. Serica, I completely agree with you. It could be a huge distraction. But I got a mind bender here. What if the aliens were the ones that exposed all this fraud? I'll think about that for a second. How about we wrap our minds around that one? What if the aliens helped expose all of the fraud? And you might be like, Bobby, what the hell are you talking about? How could the aliens help expose the fraud? What if the aliens were angelic? That's right. What if the aliens were angels and they were communicating on behalf of God? Right? What if they were sending us the Spirit to certain humans among us? Right? What if they were sending the messages of exactly where to look, where to see things, and what information to share? Who knows? I don't know. It's above my pay grade, folks. But what I will tell you is, here's one thing I do know, and I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for anybody else. Actually, I could. I have had this conversation with Edward Solomon, and so I could speak a little bit about his perception because we've had this talk. Is that he has gotten insights that do feel as though they're from a higher power, from God. That a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a push, and to see things that we wouldn't see as quickly as we did when we get stuck on something. You know. So anyway, I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean onward, but all I'm saying is, what does it mean, right? If God is sending us this information to use, or if it's angels that are sending us this information, and it's for the betterment of society and for humanity. I don't know. I do know one thing, and I've had this conversation with regards to my wife and so forth. I don't want. I really don't want to be in a world in which freedom doesn't ring true, right? That freedom doesn't reign. Like I don't have interest in being in that world, and I will fight to the death, right? Give me liberty or give me death. Those words have literal meaning to me. Like I would most definitely rather die than give up my freedom. Okay, period. I will definitely be willing to die before I ever give up my freedom. That's just the way it is. And I've had this conversation many times with my wife, and it is not even. There isn't even a shred. There's not a speckle of doubt in my mind that I would rather lose my life than give up freedom without a fight. That's just not going to happen. And so, anyways, that's where I stand with this stuff. But I think we're going to find out here in a short period of time. I do believe that. I think it does feel as though it's all coming to a head, and it's a wonderful thing to get some closure, because I think we all want some closure. I think this has been going on. It feels like it's been a long time. 6-7 months is not a long time, folks. They've been cheating us for decades. It's just that we've been awake for only 6 to 9 months, maybe a year or something, where we've seen just how corrupt and evil these people are. That's what makes it feel long. But we definitely have not been living with this, being fully aware this entire time, because we would have been nauseous a long time ago, and so we would have definitely done things a little bit different. Let me see here. What is this here, folks? This is very interesting. So get this, folks. Um, uh, who posted this? Independent, self-funded, nonpartisan. So somebody posted something. Somebody posted something, and I just got a text while I'm talking. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. This is very interesting. Bobby Piton's policies on domestic policy. Did you answer some of these? Let me take a look here. No, I didn't. Let me see here. Did not. Okay. So there's some policies. It says domestic policy, environmental, economic, national security, social, immigration, healthcare. Do you support the impeachment of the president? Should teachers be allowed to carry guns? Should this is interesting. Yeah, no, I know I got to wrap it up. Should victims of violence? I'm not sure. Who? This is very interesting. It's called here. This is what it's called. It's called isidewith.com. isidewith.com. And I'm not sure where the I'm not sure what the gun thing is, but somebody was saying something about that, that's worth looking into. You didn't answer. 0. Hold on. Hold on a second. So anyways, I'm not sure what this is, but I'm going to definitely check it out and see which ones are accurate, and update my answers if they got something wrong, because I don't have any problem explaining it, and somebody, I guess, might have filled it out as though it's me, and I'll check it out and update the real answers. Okay, so who knows who did that? I have absolutely no idea, but I do think it's worth interesting. Do you support mandatory minimum prison sentences for people charged with drug possession? No, I wouldn't. But somebody said yes, I would. This can has not responded. So we currently researching. So I'm not sure what this is, but I do think it's kind of interesting concept. So it's definitely worth looking into, and to see what it is, because maybe. Yes, I will. 1 second. Okay, so we'll take a look at it, but let's wrap this up. Okay, I'm sorry, folks. I got a little distracted because I'm getting all this stuff, and that's the campaign manager. They're sending me some of this stuff, and they said something about my views on guns might hurt me in the primary. And I'm like, what the hell is going to hurt me on the primary? I think everybody should carry a gun. So anyways, I'm not sure if that's going to hurt me with the conservatives. But I guess maybe it will. Maybe some conservatives don't think everybody should have a right to carry a gun. Okay. If you plan to do evil, you will be lost. If you plan to do good, you will receive unfailing love and faithfulness. Work brings profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. Wealth is the crown for the wise. The effort of fools yields only foolishness. And so, I do agree with this, that, we do, people that do evil are truly lost. And you can't talk. You got to walk the talk. You got to do the work if you want to bring profit. Otherwise, nobody really wants to deal with you, and you'll go down a vicious cycle if you don't get things done that you say you're going to get done. And wealth is a crown for the wise. Yes, I do agree with that. Okay, so let me take a look here. Okay. So here's the deal, folks. I'm going to just quickly Saint Michael's prayer. I just want to quickly do that. Saint Michael, the archangel, defend us in battle, be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of thy heavenly hosts, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who wander through the world for the ruin of souls. So I just want to say, God bless you. God bless your family and friends. God bless the greatest nation in the history of the world, and may peace be with you. And if you don't have peace, I do believe that if you restore your faith and continue to build your faith in God and your relationship with God, that you will find the peace that you seek. I will see you guys all tomorrow. And don't forget, tomorrow it's early. It's early in the morning, folks. 7 a.m. tomorrow. 7 a.m. because I'm going to be at that event tomorrow night. So 7 a.m. tomorrow, for day 125. Okay. So anyways, thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. God bless. And I'll see you tonight if you're going to be joining that show. Thank you.